Okay, part 3. I am now going to just click on a random demo track that's already been made. Go through it quickly just to have a little talk through on it. This is called Part 1, 129 BPM. I've just double clicked on it, as you can see Reasons loading up in the background here. And I've no idea what this track is. This is just a blind track. Okay, so you can see the arrange screen. I'm going to move the arrange screen, and we've got all the kit at the back. If you're wondering why there are like 3 mixers glued together, it's for the simple fact of the software is pretty stupid, and it only gives you 14 tracks. So when you create a 15th instrument, say a 15th Dr. Rex player or a 15th Thor sub, it just won't come out the speakers. You actually have to create another mixer, and then it starts adding it underneath. Pretty stupid. I don't understand that. But anyway, as you can see, there's an absolute cotchel of Dr. Rexes and a couple of Thors layering up subs, I presume, because that's how I work. That's a drum machine, and that's a sampler. If you can actually load in your own audio files, and actually use it. This is like a poor man's Akai, basically. This N19 sampler, Dr. Rex's Dr. Rex to the end of the world. Okay, so let me just go back to the arrange screen. Okay, this is the arrangement. As you can see, I'm going to thin it out a bit. The end is here with a right. That means when I bounce this out, it's just going to go to the end marker. Let me just expand this out a bit. I don't really know what the point of me going through this is, apart from maybe to show you a real life example. Okay, we have a solo. If I want to mute that block, just mute it. Unmute it. And it's just as simple as, moving blocks around, copying a block, going through. See, when you get hit by a track that looks like that, the first thing any professional would do is basically go through each track, fucking solo it, to know what it is, right? So that's a snare delay Dr. X3 here. You can hear. This is a Red Rum drum machines, probably giving us hi-hats. Yeah, okay, Red Rum's giving us hi-hats. Got a ride. I've labelled these up, by the way. If you want to label something, just double click on it, standards, yeah. Just double click it. You can't label the blocks, but you can label the tracks. Or something here called Illsbeat. I've got something called a Hat Congo down here. Let's unmute that as well. Shall we listen? Okay, we're going to make some changes. We're just going to just mute that. Okay, we've done a great job. We've edited it. We can move the blocks around by dragging and dropping them. I've just double clicked on it and it's jumped into this madness. Go back to the screen. If you want to bounce this out and listen to it, rock out to your CD track, we go up to File and we go to Export Song as Audio File. Okay, it's quite important. What this will do, exporting a song as an audio file, will literally just throw out what's ever from the beginning to the end, using the E marker here. I'm going to go back to File. There's an option called Export Loop as Audio File. Right, and exporting a loop as an audio file will literally just export what's between the left and the right locators. Slightly different. That's why it's important to make sure this end thing, it doesn't go on for like fucking 20 minutes or something, because when you export your song it will be a 20-minute long song. Pointless, right? So that's it. Also, if you've changed an arrangement of someone else's work, save as, and just save it as, you know, whatever, the Crazy D mix of that same track. So we're not writing over the originals. Pretty obvious stuff. I'm going to take this out solo. Now, if you're arranging tracks and you really wanted to move everything around, obviously standard, you go up to edit, you know, select all here. That selects the whole track. Or does it? No, it doesn't. Okay, go to edit, select all. Yeah, and that selects all the tracks. Boom, and we move the whole fucking thing around. Or alternatively, if say you want to add 16 bars in something, just roll a part of a tune out, move your left and your right locators to say the 16 bar bit, go up to edit and insert bars between locators in the edit section. Bang, it's going to give you that space. Then you can just grab alternate or control on your keyboard and just copy a bit into that gap. We're rocking, we're arranging, man. You know, we're on top of the world, so that's great. Okay, so that's it. You know. Bit empty there. I'm going to grab 16 bars of Illsbeat and I'm going to hit Control. I'm going to copy that over into that new bit that we've just inserted. That's better. Wonder what that red thing here, that red block here is. Let's solo that quickly. It's really that simple. There's not a lot more to it than that. I think in the 3 lessons that we've covered, you know, if I wanted to change out, say, one of the notes, it's important to remember, say this bass line here, N bass, right? That's actually far enough. You can see there's a picture of a Dr. Rex player. It's a bass line being generated from a Dr. Rex, which means it's just a sample bass line that's been chopped up into notes. I'm going to loop around that. And I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to double click on this M bass. As you can see, these are your notes, but they don't correspond to keyboard notes. These correspond to samples, right? So it's not. It's a bit confusing. You can't you can't just play that bass line slightly differently on a keyboard because they're fixed samples, right? So I just hit on the slice. If I like that note, it's a bit of a bugger, but there you go. And you know, we're going to move all our notes onto that note. Basically, editing bass lines and stuff when they're in a Dr. Rex and they're fixed, chopped up samples and they're not spanned across a keyboard like that. They're just sample notes triggering. Is a bit difficult. That's more advanced, and luckily Reason can grow with you in terms of if you did want to alter that or change that, you can. I'm not seeing how I can do that at the moment, but it's a bit strange actually. But there is an automation section somewhere. I can't see it at the moment. It looks like Reason 3 at the moment. Yeah, okay. This lesson is crumbling. I can't. Normally, you've got an automation thing. You have some more options. Yeah, I'm a bit confused myself, but if I wanted to create something else, I'll just create Dr. Rex loop here, thing at the end of create an empty unit. Go and find my empty Dr. Rex called Dr. Rex 5 down here. Go and look for Dr. Rex 5. Here it is, Dr. Rex 5 preview. There's some preset feet in there. Previewing. You're not hearing anything because we've run out of mixers at the top, and I bet you this Dr. Rex 5 is not plugged into nothing. So that's one of the limits with this in terms of creating extra parts. Always remember you have to create a mixer. It is possible to check all the wiring of what is going on by quickly just literally just going to window, options, sorry, going to options and toggling the front and rack to back. And this is where they think they've been clever, and they've tried to recreate it like an old studio with all the wiring, so you can actually see what's plugged into everything. I hate it. I'm going to toggle back to the front. And that's basically it. For the purpose of arrangement, what you really need to know is how to delete a block, select it, delete it. Yeah. What you need to know is how to copy a block by hitting Control, holding down on that, seeing the little plus symbol, and there you have it. What you also need to know is how to mute this block. Right click, mute it. Okay. What you need to know is how to edit a block to give you something else, and you edit by double clicking on it, and it will give you the notes here. Okay, and you can just click through the slices, and it'll tell you what the blocks are. And you need to know how to jump out of the key edit as well by clicking on this top left thing, and you're back into the screen. Once you've changed some notes in there, you need to know how to change the colour of that block. So because there's no other way of identifying if you've edited it. And right click again, clip colour, boom, blue sky. Once you've done that, you also need to know how to have your left and right locators set. That's your loop down here, that's your BPM, that's how long your track is, so you can actually time it out. You need, obviously 5.5 minutes for dance music. And then after you've done that, you need to know how to save it. File, save as, something else hopefully, so you know that it's your own version of the arrangement. And if you want to listen to it on a CD or MP3 player, you quite simply just export the song as an audio file, or export the loop as an audio file. It doesn't really matter. The loop is what's between the left and the right locators, and the song is just from the beginning to where the end, the E locator is. Okay. I'll go through that quickly if you want. I'll literally just bounce this out. I'm going to export this as a song as an audio file. And it's called part whatever. I'm going to call it DDD. And it's going to the desktop, and I'm going to save it. And it's going to ask me if I want it at sample rate of CD quality, which is yeah. And we're just going to export that, and bang. And there we have it. It's on the desktop, and hopefully it'll play back at some point. Yeah, there you go. So you convert that to an MP3 in iTunes or what have you, and that's great. Trying to think what else really. Just going through my notes quickly, and right clicking on stuff done, muting done, join blocks done, colouring blocks done. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just quickly, one last thing. Actually, just show you the synths. Okay, here's a thought. As I told you before, I like the thoughts. Okay. This, you can go for, oh God, it's just being an idiot. Sorry, it's this organisation, bear with me. I'm going to click on the Thor one. I'm going to solo it. At this top solo mute, solos, unsolos and mutes the whole track, which is pretty handy. It's a good function actually. We're going to solo that. It's looping between the left and right. This is Thor 1. I'm now going to go and find my Thor 1 back here. There we have it, Thor 1. It's labelled on the side there, a bit of sellotape. Okay, now obviously if we go through. Using these cursors, we're flicking through the sounds. I hope you can see these cursors. But obviously, there's another way of flicking through sound.